To Earth, I don't wish to return. I would prefer in fire to burn, to blaze and vanish into air. The thought wells up and flutes my mind, while in water I swim. Dennis Jones. Water, earth, fire, air.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Already the German poet and thinker Johann Wolfgang von Goethe asked himself, what holds the world together in its inmost folds? The four elements, which send their symbolic language for balance and stability in the world, were already seen in ancient times as the cornerstone of the cohesion of the world. Hereby, the human being was seen as an integral part in the construct of this world. This film festival provides a framework to explore this 2000-year connection between us and the four elements. With the help of 11 breathtaking films, the viewer is taken on a journey between the material and the spiritual world. As the source of crumbling harmony in the world, this film festival focuses on the human being in the context of the four elements. The human race's ethos, determined by greed and an obsession for money and power, strikes nature blow after blow. The four elements, given to us in the form of nature, are abused for humanity's insatiability. Trying to subdue the elements, humankind enters into a symbiosis which causes an imbalance in the world. Nature, an untouched incarnation of the four elements, is confronted with mankind and his machines and technologies. In search of the precious gold of El Dorado, or new land, humanity stops at nothing and thus brings fire and destruction to these peaceful landscapes. But in a view of these films, the four elements respond to the fire of people with the water of nature. For example, in Apocalypse Now, the river is the source of doom for the invaders, and in The Thin Red Line, fire symbolizes death, while water represents immortality and life. In general, it should be noted that the war films on this list in particular position Western progress as the antagonist of the four elements. Furthermore, these indigenous people are more connected to the spiritual world due to the four elements that act as a link between the material and the spiritual world. Repeatedly, the films of this festival use religious and mythological motives to accentuate both the spirituality as well as the power of the four elements in the material world. Exemplary, Interstellar draws references to the Nordic saga of the Fountain of Youth. The boat wreck in Life of Pi resembles the biblical story of Noah's Ark, and the river in Apocalypse Now is reminiscent of a trip down the mythological underworld river Styx. Especially, the completely biblical movie Mother plays a lot with these religious motives and underpins the defiling of Earth through mankind. On a larger scale, the films deal with the topic of the right approach to life of all beings. Either we can choose to be living in symbiosis, or we value the human race above all else. Movies represent our society's zeitgeist and hence accentuate humanity's vast worship of materiality compared to its minor worship of spirituality. The human spirit consequently represents the fifth element. On our earth, it is our task not to subdue the other four elements, but rather to create a harmony between us. This harmony is what holds the world together at its core.